So, few days ago, the news broke that some persons in the Nigerian armed forces were planning to overthrow the president of Nigeria. And specifically, it was said that the 1st October Independence Day celebration that was not celebrated the way it has always been done at Eagle Square, where the president goes to Eagle Square to take salute with other officials of government. The story has it that that very event was postponed this year, okay, as a result of intelligence that was gathered to the extent that some soldiers were planning to overthrow the president on that day, possibly to shoot or arrest him at the Eagle Square. Eagle Square is not as protected as Aso Rock Villa. Eagle Square is an open space in Abuja where lots of celebrations have always been done, by the federal government of Nigeria, particularly the celebration of the Independence Day, which comes up every 1st of October since 1960 till today. So we understand that that event, that significant event in the history of Nigeria, was shifted as a result of intelligence that was gathered by the intelligence agencies of Nigeria, to the extent that some persons, some military officers, were planning to stage a coup against the president. Now, the military responded to that and said it's not true. And after that, we've seen further publications to the extent that 16 persons are being detained by the military. The military has not denied that fact, that 16 persons are being detained. And just a few days ago, Premium Times, right? Premium Times talk about authenticity of publication, authenticity of news items carried by Premium Times. We can give it to them as one newspaper channel in Nigeria that verifies its facts before going to the press. So, Premium Times has come up with the names, faces, and profiles of the soldiers detained in connection with the coup. Okay? So, we just believe that Premium Times is accurate with its reportage. We hope that Premium Times, they've gone extra miles to verify. And in this video, we are bringing out the names, the profiles, the states of origin of the persons that are said to be detained. The 16 of them that have been detained in connection with the coup, right? Now, this is said to be the leader of that coup. He is a person that possibly, if the coup had succeeded, he would have been the person to take charge of government. He would have been the head of state of Nigeria. He's a brigadier general, and his name is Brigadier General Musa Abubakar Sadiq. This is him, right? According to Premium Times. He is said to have been the person leading the coup. So he would have been, like I said, the president of Nigeria if the coup had succeeded. He's from Nasarawa State. Nasarawa State is very close to Abuja. So he's from Nasarawa State, and is one of the persons that have been arrested and detained. He was born on 3rd January 1974. This is his service number, N10321. I think the N stands for Nigerian Army, right? He attended the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, between 1992 and 1997. He rose through the ranks, becoming a colonel in 2015 and a brigadier 4 years later. He belongs to the infantry corps of the Nigerian Army. Okay, the infantry, the foot soldiers, okay, the combatants, the people that go to war. So he belongs to that very corps. He has served in various capacities in the military, including commander of the 3rd Brigade in Kano, garrison commander of the 81 Div of the Nigerian Army in Lagos. So obviously a military officer that has been in and out, of various positions in the Nigerian Army. Premium Times says that this is not the first time that Brigadier General Sadiq has made headlines for the wrong reasons. He is said to have been detained some time ago for alleged diversion of rice palliatives, selling of military equipment, including generators and vehicles, okay, operational vehicles, as scraps. Iron condemned. The Popular Ion condemned. So Premium Times is saying that this is not the first time that General Sadiq has found himself in troubled waters. That not long ago he was arrested and detained by the military for selling palliatives, rice that was meant for the poor and the vulnerable, and for ripping off military vehicles and equipment and selling them off as scraps, according to Premium Times. Right? This is the second person. Remember, there are 16 persons. This is the second person, a colonel, Colonel M.A. Maji. Right? He is alleged to have played the role of the strategist. It is said that he was a person that was the coordinator, making calls to this person, recruiting people, driving around, recruiting people, telling them, okay, this is going to be your role, this is going to be your role, and all that. He's said to have been the strategist for the coup plot, right? He's from Niger State. The first person, the leader, he's from Nasarawa State, and this gentleman is from Niger State. He's Nope by tribe, right? He was born in 1976, attended the Nigerian Defense Academy between 1995 to 2000. He's a member of 47 regular corps. He's of the Infantry Corps, right? The first person was of the Infantry Corps. The second person, Colonel Maji, is also of the Infantry Corps. He was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in 2013, 4 years after he became a full-fledged colonel, right? He is 49 years old as of today. He served as commanding officer of the 19th Battalion of the Nigerian Army based in Okutikukba in Ondo State. He was part of Operation Crocodile Smile, a Nigerian Army military exercise conducted in 2017 to address security challenges in the Niger Delta region, right, and parts of the Southwest. He also served as the depot, this is another important institution in the Nigerian Army, right? And later he became commander, Operation Delta Safe. So he's also someone that has had military experience in commanding positions. The third person, according to Premium Times, is Lieutenant Colonel S. Bapa. Lieutenant Colonel S. Bapa, okay, his state of origin is Bauchi. He's from Bauchi State in northern Nigeria. He's of the Infantry Corps. He's age 41, having been born in June 1984. He trained in the Nigerian Defense Academy from 2004 to 2008. He's a member of the 56 Regular Corps of the Nigerian Army. Number 4 person is Lieutenant Colonel A.A. Hayatu. Lieutenant Colonel A.A. Hayatu is from Kaduna State, also in northern Nigeria. Right, this is his first number. He was born in August 1983, so he would be 41 years old today. He did his cadet training between September 2004 and October 2008. He's of the Infantry Corps. He's also of the 56 Regular Corps, right? Number 5 is P. Dangnap. P. Dangnap. P. Dangnap is from Plateau State, right? He was born on April 1986. He's 39 years old today. This is his service number. He's said to have started his cadet training in September 2004 and completed it in October 2008, the same as the gentleman here, right? Colonel Hayatu, right? And he's of the Infantry Corps, and he's also a member of the 56 Regular Corps. That's the third person from the 56 Regular Corps, right? And he's said to have been court-martialed alongside others before now on offenses related to Boko Haram, against Boko Haram, right? Number 6 is Lieutenant Colonel M. Al-Makura. Al-Makura is from Nasarawa State. You remember that when the news first broke, it was said that there is a governor from Nasarawa State, a former governor from Nasarawa State, whose cousin is involved in the coup. So that's the name here, Al-Makura. You know the governor, okay? But I don't know if the governor knows anything about this, because the governor is not a military man. The former governor is not a military man. But this is the Al-Makura, Lieutenant Colonel in the Army. He's a member of the same 56 Regular Corps, right? He was born in 1983, so he's 42 years old today. He's of the Infantry Corps, and this is his service number 12983. He trained in the Nigerian Defense Academy between September 2004 and October 2008. Remember that the person number 5 also trained the same year, and Colonel Hayat also trained at the same year. So those are cosmates. Number 7 is Major A.J. Ibrahim. A.J. Ibrahim has his service number here. He is from Gombe State, also in northern Nigeria. He was born in June 1987, and so that would make him 30-something years old today. He's of the Infantry Corps. He trained in the Nigerian Defense Academy between September 2004 and October 2008. The same course, 56 regular, right? Classmates. He became a captain in 2013, and at the time of the arrest, he's said to be a major, according to Premium Times. Number 8 is Major M.M. Jida. Major M.M. Jida is from Katsina State, also from northern Nigeria. He was born in July 1985. He trained in the Nigerian Defense Academy between September 2004 and October 2008. Also, of course, 56 classmates, right? And here is his service number. Number 9 is Major M.A. Usman. You have his service number there, right? He was born in April 1989. He hails from the Federal Capital Territory, still northern Nigeria, okay? In north central Nigeria. He's a member of the 60th regular course. He trained in the Nigerian Defense Academy between August 2008 and September 2012, right? So that's the number 9 person. Number 10 is Major D. Yusuf. Major D. Yusuf is from Gombe State, also northern Nigeria. This is his service number. He's a member of the Ordnance Corps. He was born in May 1988. He's a member of the 59th regular course, and he trained in the Nigerian Defense Academy between July 2007 and September 2012. So that's the number 10 person. Number 11, Major I. Dauda. Major I. Dauda joined the army through the direct short service. Those that they have their qualification elsewhere. Maybe they have a degree or diploma, HND or something, and then they want to make a career in the Nigerian army, and then they move in there, okay? So he joined the Nigerian army through the direct short service commissions. He was born in November 1983. His service number is there. He trained at the Nigerian Defense Academy between 2009 and 2010 because of the short service training. He's from Jigawa State, also northern Nigeria. He's of course 38, right? The others that have been listed also in the publication by Premium Times, which you can verify also, it's online on their verified social media handles, you see it. Others are 12, Captain Ibrahim Bello, also from northern Nigeria. Captain A.A. Yusuf, also from northern Nigeria. Lieutenant S.S. Felix, that's a southern name. Number 15 is Lieutenant Commander B.D. Abdullahi. He's of the Navy. You know, every other person has been from the Army. Okay, but Abdullahi is of the Navy. Squadron Leader S.B. Adamu is of the Air Force. So that's the 16th person. Military officers, men under service law that have been arrested and detained in connection with the rumored coup that was to take place on the 1st of October during parade or any other day, right? Like I said from the intro, the source of the names and the photographs that you have seen is Premium Times. Any questions for them, an email to them and all of that, this is the source. We are quoting the source directly, which is Premium Times, one of the leading newspaper houses in Nigeria. Now, this is Premium Times. This is their publication. Okay, some of the officers suspected to be involved in the coup plot include a brigadier general, which is what we mentioned at the instance, a colonel, 4 lieutenant colonels, 5 majors, 2 captains, a lieutenant commander, and a squadron leader. The person publishing this is Yakubu Mohammed, a staff of Premium Times. So this is a summary of what we have analyzed so far. 14 are from the army out of the 16. And it's true, it's always the army that is leading. I mean, most times in Africa, all the coups that have taken place in Africa, they are mostly led by men of the army, okay? It's only, I think, in Ghana during Jerry Rawlings' coup that Jerry came from the Air Force to lead a coup. And that was not so common in Africa. Most of the coups in Africa are usually led by men of the army, okay? They are the ones that populate the coup plotters and ostensibly call in other persons to join them in the coup. So 14 of the names are of the army, one from the Navy and one from the Air Force. Out of this number, one is a brigadier general. And it's not very common to see a brigadier general involved in a coup plot. Because at that point in your career, you are almost exiting. You have met the last of the brackets in your career as a soldier. So you hardly would see a major general, a brigadier general getting involved in the planning and execution of a coup. Yes, some middle officers can execute the coup and eventually bring in a senior military officer in the rank of major general, brigadier general, or general to become the leader of the country. But you hardly would see a brigadier general being directly involved in the planning and execution, directly, of the coup. But we've had it in these very incidents, following the reports that we have read, that one is a brigadier general, one is a colonel, 4 are lieutenant colonels, 5 are majors, 2 are captains, 1 lieutenant, 1 Navy commander, which is equivalent of a major, 1 squadron leader in the Air Force, and a squadron leader is equivalent of a major, okay, in the Nigerian army. Now, let's also look at the law. What will happen to them, believing that the story is true, right? And we're waiting to hear more from the Nigerian army. We do expect them, the military, after, I know they don't want to talk too much now because they perhaps may still be gathering information, picking up people at night, at day, and so on. But when they eventually come out to address the nation and the world, we want to see more about this investigation, this story, right? But assuming the story is true and that these gentlemen were involved in the planning and planning of a coup, right, against the government of Nigeria, then here is it. Section 52 of the Armed Forces Act, okay, will be applied to them because they are persons under service law. They are not civilians. They wear uniforms. So they are persons under service law. And for that reason, it is the provisions of the service of the Armed Forces Act, which is applicable across board to all the arms of the Nigerian military. Okay, so the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. This act applies to all of them equally. So Section 52 of this Act, Armed Forces Act, criminalizes their action, planning to overthrow a government. And that's Section 52. It says any person subject to civil law, service law, who incites any other person subject to civil law under this act to take part in a mutiny. So they call it mutiny. What we know as civilians is treason, treasonable felony. But under the Armed Forces Act, this action is described as mutiny, okay? And when you commit mutiny, the sentence on conviction in a court-martial is death. He said the person will suffer death, right? Now, the section goes on to say, in this section and other sections of this act, mutiny means a combination between 2 or more persons. These ones are up to 16, so it qualifies. 2 or more persons subject to service law. All of them are subject to service law. All of them are military men. either in the army, armed force, Air Force, or the Navy. So all of them are military men, all 16 that you saw their names and faces. Or between persons, two or at least of whom are subjects to service law. So there are 16 that are caught up by this section. To overthrow, what was the intention of plotting a coup? It is not to go and dance. It is to overthrow. That's the truth, right? So the law says to overthrow or resist lawful authority. As at this time, the government of Bola Tinubu is a lawful authority. Election was conducted where he emerged as the winner. He was challenged up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court affirmed that this is the lawful authority to govern Nigeria, right? So the law says, if you plan to overthrow or resist lawful authority in the federation or in any arm of the service, okay, right? So that person shall be convicted for the offense of mutiny, and the person will be sentenced to death. For civilians, it is usually death by firing squad, hanging. But theirs will certainly be death by firing squad. I know that soldiers will not waste time to go and hang and wait for the person to go off. I know that soldiers will do their own as quickly as possible, and you know what I mean, okay? So that's the situation. If these persons are found guilty, if it is true that they took part in the planning towards the execution of a coup against the president of Nigeria, a lawful authority, then under the military, under the Armed Forces Act, they will be charged under the section that provides for mutiny. Mutiny also includes the attempt to overthrow or the actual overthrow of a government in Nigeria, and therefore this section will rightly apply to them. If they were civilians, the section that will apply, the law that will apply to them will not be Armed Forces Act. It will be Criminal Code Law or Penal Code Law of Nigeria, right? Which also makes provisions punishing anybody who sponsors a coup, who takes part in a coup, and the penalty is death, right? And that law describes those actions as treason and treasonable felonies, okay? But for these ones, military men, theirs is mutiny, and it comes under the Armed Forces Act. And if you are found guilty, right, note that under law they are still presumed innocent at this point. But if you are found guilty in a court-martial, the sentence is that of death by firing squad, and it will be left for the president to sanction whether they should be executed or not executed. But that is the law in its entirety, right? So this is the army in their royalty, you know, always very unique. Army in their royalty everywhere in the world. These are officers and men of the Nigerian army on oppression, and we hope that the few days will be more revealing so that Nigerian citizens will get to know exactly what's going on, why are they being detained, right? If they have committed an offense, what next, you know, is to be done by the military authority and by the Nigerian government. Don't forget that this story has led to the reshuffling of the security cabinet of the president. Some service chiefs have been removed and new ones have been brought in. Many thanks always for watching.